I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Friday, October 10th. Today,
the digital divide is real and a critical barrier for many of the people we work with.
community reaction to a new detox center in Point Douglas. Also today, honoring
It's inhumane that we are not looking after these folks. So actually, this is a very good thing for everybody.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Plenty of reaction today to the province's move to put a longer-term detox center in Point Douglas. Yesterday, the provincial government said the 20-bed facility will be located at 200 Disraeli Freeway in the same building as the Nadina Waymak homeless shelter, an area once considered for a supervised drug consumption site that ran into opposition from local residents. CTV's Taylor Brock has more on this story. Taylor, what are people saying about it?
Well, we visited Point Douglas today and spoke with people who live there. A resident we spoke with says they are welcoming the facility. The detox center stems from a recent move by the province to lengthen the detention time for intoxicated people from 24 to 72 hours. That's because people high on meth require more time to detox. The center would also offer more healthcare services than typical detention centers, but that still needs to be sorted out. An area resident says it's the right place to put the center.
Because that is where they all hang out, they all stay, they camp out over here. They're on the streets, they're sleeping under the bridge, everywhere.
We also spoke with a board member of Nadina Waymak about how this will happen. Mitch Bourbonnier says the shelter will continue to operate while construction is underway next door. He says the entire community benefits from offering support to those suffering from drug-induced psychosis.
The way I look at it, folks with psychosis are walking around that area right now all the time, not being looked after, and it's inhumane. It's inhumane that we are not looking after these folks. So actually, this is a very good thing for everybody, not only for the person affected, but for the public safety.
Taylor, what about the mayor? Is he weighing in on this?
Well, Scott Gillingham told reporters today the city doesn't have a say in the location because healthcare is a provincial responsibility, but he says he fully supports the decision to build the facility.
I believe we need a site like that in the city of Winnipeg, wherever that may be. As the mayor of the city, when I see the amount of addiction on the street and people struggling in the midst of a meth or opioid crisis and in the midst of a high, we have to have a place where we can take people that is not an emergency room.
The bill to hold intoxicated persons for 72 hours was introduced in the legislature last week. The government hopes it passes quickly so that construction can start on the first 20-bed facility in Point Douglas, followed by 20 more in a second construction phase. CTV's Jeff Keel is working on this story in more detail. Watch his full report on CTV News at 6.
All right, thanks for this, Taylor. Winnipeg police have uncovered more than 7 kilos of cocaine hidden in a secret compartment of an SUV. It was all part of a large drug bust a month ago. Police in Winnipeg got a tip from RCMP that a vehicle suspected of drug trafficking was headed to Winnipeg. Investigators located the vehicle in Tyndall Park. The driver appeared to be making a drug transaction with a person in a second vehicle. So police moved in and arrested both men. That's when they found 7.5 kilograms of cocaine hidden in an aftermarket compartment in one of the vehicles. The drugs are valued at around $175,000. $150,000 in cash was also found in the other SUV. A 35-year-old man from Calgary and a 31-year-old Winnipeg man now face drug trafficking charges. More affordable childcare spaces are coming for families in South Winnipeg. Construction got underway today on a new $10 a day childcare center. It will be located at Riverview Health Center. The province is spending $5.6 million on the project, which will see 80 new spaces created, including 16 spots for infants. Officials say the daycare will offer specialized programming for children living with disabilities and emotional or behavioral needs. It's expected to open next fall. St. Boniface Museum won't be getting the city funding it hoped for to help with renovations. The museum raised $4.5 million for the work, which it wants completed in time for its 175th anniversary next year. It's estimated it needs another $1.5 million this year to meet the milestone. However, yesterday, the Property and Development Committee instead passed a motion directing the public service to assist the museum on a phased approach to the remainder of the project while keeping it within the existing budget. The pandemic sparked a flight of workers out of downtown offices, but it appears those empty spaces are starting to fill up once again. According to Collier's quarterly office space report, the Winnipeg market had significant momentum this quarter. It found 53,000 square feet of space was taken, with activity in both downtown and the suburbs. The data shows a gradual recovery in the office sector is underway. The overall vacancy rate has now dropped to 13.4%, a more than 2% increase since the previous quarter. It was a night hockey fans had been waiting for, the Winnipeg Jets season home opener.
Go Jets, go! Go Jets, go!
Last night, fans packed downtown to cheer on the Jets as they faced the Dallas Stars in front of a sold-out crowd. Now, along with ushering in a brand new season, fans welcomed hometown hero Jonathan Toews. It was his first regular season game as a Jet.
This team is ready, and we are just getting started.
And as you can see, there is a special treat for fans as the President's Trophy and Central Division Championship banners were unveiled. The bad news? Well, the Jets lost the game 5-4, but don't worry, there's plenty of hockey still to come. The Jets farm team Manitoba Moose begin its season tonight at Canada Life Centre, and the Jets will take on the Los Angeles Kings tomorrow afternoon. Programs for seniors, veterans, and young people throughout the Interlake are getting a funding boost from the province, and it's welcome news for places like the Gordon Howard Senior Centre in Selkirk.
The upgrades that the board identified are 4 furnaces, a new air conditioning unit, and flooring for 3 of our multi-use rooms. So that's fantastic.
In total, nearly 24 projects across the region are getting a share of the money. It includes upgrades to the Legion and Hydro Park in Selkirk, money for the Petersfield Curling Club and Moosehorn Minor Baseball, as well as the Gimli Yacht Club. The funding is coming from the province's From the Ground Up grant program. Details on how to apply can be found on the province's website. Well, Thanksgiving came early for hundreds of Winnipeggers today. Siloam Mission hosted its annual Thanksgiving lunch for roughly 700 people dealing with homelessness or poverty. Staff and volunteers working side by side treated guests to the traditional Thanksgiving meal. This takes a lot of work, months to prepare, and is one of Siloam Mission's busiest events of the year. Officials say it's also one of the most valued events by the community.
Lots of folks who come and who will be joining us today may not have friends or family to spend Thanksgiving with. They may not be getting a traditional like turkey, home-cooked meal anywhere else. And so this is an opportunity for people to feel valued and important, and also a sense of community, having a meal together.
Siloam Mission also has a lot to be thankful for when it comes to this meal. A lot of the turkeys were donated by an anonymous donor, while the pies were made and donated to Siloam by local Hutterite colonies. All right, the Thanksgiving long weekend is upon us, and Catherine Dow is in now with your long weekend forecast. How's it shaping up, Catherine?
You know, Mother Nature's serving up a bit of a mixed dish, if you will, in terms of our weather conditions. Some of them tasty, some of them maybe not, depending on what you are in the mood for this weekend. Today, if you were in the mood for sunshine, you were in luck. As evidenced by our radar, it's been clear, it's been bright, it's been above seasonal, as has been the case for the last couple of days. That's because of this ridge of pressure that developed over Alberta that pushed into our region, has really locked in those conditions, but it is coming to an end. I'm going to have details on how our our conditions are going to change. Spoiler alert, it will involve rain. It will involve colder temperatures. But right now, let's cast our eye to the sky on the live eye, 17 degrees. Very clear, lovely skies out there. Winds are much lighter. They will be ramping up into tomorrow. The pressure is falling, the humidity at 39%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
And our first check-in on traffic brings us to Osborne Street. Everyone looking to get the weekend going because it's a bit of a lineup on this stretch. However, the lineup is moving there and roads look to be in good shape. So nothing there to slow you down other than the amount of cars on the road.
RCMP have arrested a man wanted for robbing a couple of fishermen with a hatchet. We'll have that story for you after the break. Plus,
Chad grew up in this community and played his first basketball through WNBA at Gateway Community Center at the age of 9.
An emotional day for a Winnipeg family as a local basketball court is named after their late loved one. Canada's unemployment rate held steady at 7.1% last month as the economy added some 60,000 jobs. Closer to home, Manitoba added 3,900 jobs. However, our unemployment rate ticked up half a percentage point to 6.2%. Winnipeg's unemployment rate also rose slightly to 6.5%. With more Market Watch news, here's Morella Fernandez.
Markets took a steep U-turn this morning after Donald Trump posted online about China. The post reignited fears of the trade war getting worse. Trump threatening to increase tariffs on China because Beijing is again tightening exports of critical minerals, which are crucial to both technology and defense firms. The North American market sank, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ losing more than 800 points. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar down to 71.43. West Texas Intermediate crude is down more than $2.50 to 58.48. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 50.36. And the TSX sank today, losing 419 points and dropping under 30,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross, group health plans for any size business.
Selkirk RCMP are thanking the public for its help, which led to the arrest of an armed robbery suspect. Earlier this week, RCMP asked for the public's help in its search for 34-year-old Jordan Walker. He was wanted in connection to a robbery on September 30th. RCMP say a man armed with a hatchet approached two fishermen and stole their vehicle. Walker was arrested yesterday in Selkirk. He faces charges of armed robbery, uttering death threats, and dangerous operation of a motor vehicle. An emotional day for the family of Chad Posthumus, the professional basketball player who passed away last year.
He loved his community and he proudly represented them from the time he started playing to when he became the Beast from River East while playing with the Sea Bears.
Today, the new basketball courts at Gateway Recreation Center were officially named Chad Posthumus Memorial Court. The Winnipeg-born player played pro basketball for 10 years and was the first captain of the Winnipeg Sea Bears. He died of a brain aneurysm last November at just 33 years old. His mother, Diana, says Chad was an advocate for accessible sports facilities and would often show up at a court to play with local kids.
He would coach them up, and some of them would have no idea who he was. And a little bit later, somebody who recognized him, they'd go, do you know who you're playing against? And the kids would be just absolutely thrilled and excited. And then the cameras would come out, and he, of course, would be gracious and pose for all the pictures.
Chad Posthumus Memorial Court is home to more than 150 kids playing on 13 youth basketball teams.
I can see that you're hurting.
A local country folk group is once again working with a 3-time Grammy winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Details coming up in the Spotlight.
Like pages in a book.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Paula Cole and Sophie B. Hawkins.
Catherine Dow is back now for Spotlight, and we're kicking things off today with a puppet show that's coming to Royal MTC.
That's right, Marilee, and it's really going to be a wonderful show. Ronnie Burkett is bringing his Wonderful Joe production to Winnipeg. This is not a Sesame Street style show teaching kids about the alphabet or numbers. Instead, Wonderful Joe is all about the challenges of gentrification in neighborhoods. Using some dazzling music and lighting, the production tells the story of Joe and his dog, Mister. They suddenly lose their home and, facing a number of heartbreaking choices as a result, head out for one final adventure. Wonderful Joe is running now through October 26th at the Tom Hendry Warehouse. You can find tickets at royalmtc.ca.
A local alternative country folk group is coming out with a new album next month.
Yes, and they're tapping into a partnership with an acclaimed American counterpart.
Don't bite your tongue. Say what you mean.
So that is Bonnie Raitt lending her voice to the brothers Landreth's latest single, Knuckles. As you may recall, Raitt won the Song of the Year Grammy for her cover of the Winnipeg band song Just Like That in 2023. As the brothers explained in a social media video, it was actually one of the album's producers who suggested they see if Raitt was interested in collaborating.
Fast forward another chunk of time, and we get a phone call from Bonnie saying, "Hey, I got a bit of a problem. I can't decide. So, is there any way you guys would be okay with me cutting 2 songs?" And we're just like, "Yeah, dude."
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, the pair go on to say Raitt sings background vocals in another song titled Half Moon Eyes. The brothers Landreth's latest album, Dog Ear, is scheduled for release on November 14th.
Well, that little bit I heard, they sound great together.
Yeah, they sound wonderful.
This is going to be a long weekend for many of us. Monday is a statutory holiday, so you got some housekeeping to do for us.
Yes, so thanks to that Thanksgiving holiday, Marilee, there are a number of closures and holiday hours that we want to tell you about. So all civic offices in Winnipeg, including City Hall, will be closed on Monday. Winnipeg Transit will run on a Sunday schedule, and all Winnipeg libraries will be closed. The pools at Cindy Clausen Rec Complex, Margaret Grant Pool, and Pan Am will be opened for reduced hours, but all other indoor pools will be closed. All city-run fitness centers will be closed except for Pan Am and Cindy Clausen. Garbage pickup will continue for everyone who has Monday as their regular collection day, and most of the malls around the city will be open with some reduction in hours. All liquor marts in Winnipeg and Brandon are open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. except for the True North Square location, which will be closed. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights will be closed on Thanksgiving, as will the Winnipeg Art Gallery and the Manitoba Museum. Assiniboine Park Zoo is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with gates closing at 3:30 p.m.
All right. We wish all of our viewers out there a very happy Thanksgiving.
We do.
Thanks, Catherine.
You are welcome. And start the weekend off at 7 with 911 Nashville, and Special Forces World's Toughest Test follows at 8. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Another check on traffic brings us to Portage at Polo Park. Looking sunny and not too thick in terms of those traffic volumes. A good route to take if you want to get home quick, but grab those shades. It's bright out there.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Turning now to high school football action, Daniel Mack's varsity team hosted the Beaver Bray Broncos Thursday afternoon. Here they are in action. The Broncos blew past Daniel Mack with a winning score of 61-1. Also in high school varsity action, Elmwood won its match 30-13 against Sisler. Murdoch-McKay beat Portage Collegiate 62-26. Churchill won at home against St. John's High School 53-20. St. Paul's beat out River East 45-6. And it was a close one at Springfield Collegiate, with West Kildonan Collegiate winning 7-6.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
We are closing the book on this picture-perfect work week. I'm really mixing my metaphors here. It has just been so sunny and lovely out there is what I'm trying to say. Clear skies abounded all throughout the province today. There's so little to show you on the radar because it's been so sunny and lovely and above seasonal temperatures all throughout. However, I have been warning there's a bit of a change coming. So the reason we've had these very consistent conditions is because of this ridging that developed over Alberta and moved into our neck of the woods, really locking in that heat and those clear skies. However, as the evening progresses, we start to see things take maybe a turn into tomorrow. We stay clear here in the south, maybe a little bit of fog. And then to the north, we see on the very northerly corners, there's a slight chance of some rainfall. Churchill is involved in that. However, you're likely to stay dry under mild conditions in the kind of mid-single digit mark. Around Winnipeg, it's going to be about 3 or 4 degrees. Meanwhile, into tomorrow, we start off clear and then keep your eye here. This little guy is kind of our party crasher. It's bringing a slight chance of some rainfall to areas in south central Manitoba, including Winnipeg, and that lasts overnight as well. Meanwhile, to the west here, there's another system that's likely to develop overnight, and then into tomorrow, things go a little haywire. Look at that. Likely for some rain off and on throughout Sunday. In the north, likely some clouds, a chance for rainfall for you as well, but nowhere near what we're going to see here. And as you see, it starts to push north, bringing that rainfall to further areas upwards in our province. And then from there, we do recover nicely. We're getting up to 4 degrees or down to 4 degrees overnight under those clear skies. Into tomorrow, though, a decent high, 17 degrees with that chance of showers. And then from there, we hang on to the heat under the showers, but we really lose it on Turkey Day, 7 degrees on Monday over those very cloudy skies. Your Skywatch picture of the day, Joan had a couple of visitors in Rivers. Thanks for having that camera handy and snapping those cute guys. And then this lovely sunset. We got a lot of these sunset pictures, particularly in the Lac Brochet area. This one was taken by Amy. Thanks so much for submitting, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Catherine. Well, one of the biggest fundraisers for the Children's Hospital is just around the corner. The Ice Crystal Gala is Winnipeg's only gala where kids and families are welcome. As you can see, last year's theme was Rhinestone Rodeo. This event raised $1.5 million to purchase life-saving surgical equipment. This year's theme is Island Vibes, complete with steel drums and tropical island dancers.
This year's event, we're actually raising money to renovate the Children's Hospital's ward CK5, where the most vulnerable kids will stay in those rooms, especially cancer patients.
It takes place October 18th at RBC Convention Center. The event sells out every year, but there are apparently some last-minute tickets available. You can visit goodwear.ca for more details on that. The themes and the decorations they do are always all out there, so if you can grab tickets, you'll have a good time. All right, we'll be back at 6 with more local news. Hope to see you then.